Hello everyone, so let me show you how you can use Nova Traffic software. So the first thing you need to do is to enter your URL in this field. So I'll enter my URL, for example, for this website. This website basically checks your IP address. This is to test the proxies. You can enter your website URL here, and then if you want to add keywords to provide organic traffic, you can click on this keywords button and you can enter your keywords separated by a comma, as I have entered like so. You can enter multiple keywords separated by a comma. Then click on add and click on add URL. As you can see, my URL is successfully added. So the next thing is to click on user agents button on this sidebar, and you can now either choose the random built-in user agents, or you can import your own user agents file. So for example, I'll select for now macOS, and you can also see the example user agent below, and you can also import your own user agents file that should contain each user agent on a new line. For example, I have a file here like so. So here are user agents on each line. You can either import your own file and also make sure to enable this switch, which means or use custom user agents file. This is if you want to use your own user agents file. But now I'll turn it off for now, as I am going to use the macOS user agents. And also this software contains a built-in user agent scraper. And you can also select filters here, and then you can now enter the quantity. For example, I enter 1000 and click on scrape, and you can see all the user agents are now scraped. You can also export it. Let's move on to proxies. As we have now selected user agents, let's move on to proxies. Now here, let me remove these ones. So as you can see here, you can enter your proxy like so. The proxy may contain a username or password, or it can be without username or password. So my proxies contain username and password. That means they contain authentication. So simply I copy this and paste it here, and then click on add. But if you want to change the proxy type, you can choose from here. But now I'll select HTTP and click on add. You can also check your proxies by clicking on this icon. This tests your proxies if they are good or not. And also you can bulk add your proxies. So I'm going to bulk add all these proxies here. Each should be on a new line, and then click on add, and all the proxies are added. Next thing we need to do is to cookies. If you want to add cookies, you can click on this cookies button and navigate and search for your URL, and next to your URL you can see modify cookie button. Click on it and you can paste your JSON cookie here. This software currently supports only JSON cookies, so you can paste them here. For now I'll be not using cookies, so let's cancel it and then move on to configuration. Here you can see the traffic quantity, how much traffic you want to provide, and here are threads. Thread basically means the number of browser instances opened simultaneously. So for now I will type in 4, and then you can see the internal page to visits. It's self-explanatory, so I'll be entering 1 2 3, and then this basically clicks the articles or the internal links on your web page. Then we have the stay time in seconds. It is minimum and maximum, so it will be selected randomly. And then we have the traffic source. You can either choose direct or organic traffic. If you select organic traffic, it will search on Google your keyword and your website, and then clicks on your search result. That will produce a organic traffic to your website. So this is basically so safe, but for now I'll be using direct. And here is the page timeout. You don't have to worry about this. This should be 90 seconds, and you can change it. This basically means to wait for page to load. If it doesn't load, the browser will be closed. And then we have, this basically happens when you have a bad proxy and the page doesn't load. Then we have in the automation section, we have you can enable internal page visits or disable it on your choice. You can toggle these settings, and also you can change scroll settings. Here you can see the scroll distance. It is in pixels. You can choose your own, but the recommended settings is 100 to 400. And then we have the delay between scrolls. This basically means the delay between each scroll done. So basically it is from 1 to 2 seconds. This is good. And then we have the scroll down bias, which basically means if you move it to 100, it means the page will only scroll down and will never scroll up. And if you select it from 50, so there is a 50-50 chance of scrolling up or down. But the recommended option is 60 to mimic the Rails user behavior. So let's close this. Then you can either enable click on element option. Here you can configure it. This basically means you first of all provide the delay before clicking an element, for example 10 seconds, then after clicking an element, for example 20 seconds. Here you enter the X path for your element. This is basically the selector where your element is present, and it will click on that element. For now we don't need this, so we'll disable it. Then we have in the security section, you can toggle these settings, and then you can either hide your browser or not. It is recommended to do not hide your browser because it is more safe. And that's all. That's the main settings. Let's start our software. As you can see here, the user agents is macOS, and you can see I am currently using Windows. So here's the macOS user agent, and here is my proxy, and you can see here it is showing no proxy. This is the thing I was talking about, that this software is so safe that the website tells that there is no proxy being used, even though I am using a proxy, and it is also saying anonymizer no, and so it is so safe to use. Here you can see the proxy has been changed, and you can see all the working. It is working correctly. It is scrolling randomly, and it will open the sub pages once it scrolls for a number of seconds. You can see all these. So that was all for using this software. You can now stop the software by clicking on the stop button, and you can see all the browsers are being closed. And that's all. Well done.